Good evening. I am David.
I'm Tamara. So glad that you're here with us tonight. You're really going to want to stay on and listen to this incredible, deep, immersive, expansive experience with our guest, musician Harry Waywell and meditation teacher Juliana Klinkert. So please come back.
The following program is presented by Loving Meditations.
Unwind and transform your mind with Peaceful Oasis Live, the concert series hosted by Tamara Green and David Dashinger of Loving Meditations. Masters of mindfulness, music, and storytelling transport you into a state of deep relaxation through soulful conversations, calming meditations, and expansive music, all brought to you live. View past episodes and sign up to get upcoming events and inspirations delivered to your inbox at peacefuloasislive.com. We appreciate you, our viewers, supporting our mission for peace and calm. And we're back. I'm going to start by introducing our musician, Harry Waywell. Relax, reflect, and introspect. UK artist Waywell will present his signature immersive concert experience. His heartfelt guitar melodies, deeply chilled ambient electric music is designed to break you free from everyday stream of life. So enjoy this 15-minute live stream of his wonderful original music.
you.
Wow.
Wow, that was spectacular.
Really great. Wow. Thank you so much, Harry Waywell. And we understand that your brother did the graphics. So, what a talented family. Thank you so much.
Yes, and you can look for Harry out there on the internet, on Instagram, and also SoundCloud. You can find his tracks at soundcloud.com/Waywell, and on Instagram at @Waywell. Thank you, Harry. We appreciate it. Sounded amazing.
You can go to sleep now. He's there in UK.
Well, we're going to be right back after this.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air, and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. Undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond all.
Peaceful Oasis Live is on the E360 TV app. Watch us live on the Health and Wellness channel and catch our past episodes on your favorite smart device by downloading the E360 TV app from the App Store.
And we're back. We're so excited to have such a wonderful soul joining us, Juliana Klinkert. She will guide us in English and Spanish to discover a simple yet profound way to introduce meditation into our daily lives. Let's bring on Juliana. Oh, hello, hello.
Such a joy to be here with you today. This beautiful afternoon in Los Angeles, evening almost in New York, and well, in all around the world in many other times.
Yes, Harry was coming to us from the country of Georgia, so it's 3:00 in the morning there. He was definitely doing the night owl routine tonight.
That's right. I said he was in UK. He's actually in Republic of Georgia,
Yeah.
right? Wonderful that you're here with us, Juliana. Do you mind starting out with your path? You know, where you're originally from, and a little bit of your journey, and how you got to Los Angeles doing what you're doing now.
Of course, thank you again for having me here today. Thank you to each person who is watching us live, or to each person who will watch the replay, because it's thanks to each of you who watch this program that we continue to bring content to you, and especially through Peaceful Oasis, that every time such a new beautiful content is coming to you. So in this journey of meditation, it's very special because I tend to try to say not too much the word meditation, because nowadays this word became like a fashion word. So everyone, I think, that wants to say this word, but I don't know how many people really find the true meaning of what meditation is. So if we erase that word from this conversation, I will want to say that this path of finding ways to calm or to quiet the mind started with me at a very young age. I was born in Colombia, and when I was born in Colombia, I had the blessing, I will say, to have the opportunity to see a lot of difficulty, danger in the country going on, and also some internal fights in the family. But I was always thinking life much life must be something that goes beyond all these emotions. We are not just here as human beings to be trapped in the emotions. So I started since I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and I started to have these conversations inside of me, and I wanted always to find something more, something that really teach me how to deal with the emotions, to don't stay in the up and down. And when I was 16 years old, in my high school in Colombia, we from high school we jump immediately into university. It's not like in some European countries or even here in America, people take their time or they work first or this or that. No, in our tradition, we kind of follow sort of some rules. So my mom was like, "What are you going to study in university, Juliana?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Let's check. I really want to learn something about emotions." And she was like, "Are you going to be a psychologist, a psychiatrist?" And I'm like, "I don't think that's going to be my path. I think I'm going to go in a different direction." She's like, "Okay, you can go ahead and try to look what is that you are going to find." And I went to her library because my mom used to read a lot of books, and I don't really understand how she could have such a big library in a house. So I'm like, if my mom reads so much, she must have something interesting in that library that will help me to find what am I going to study. And I found a book that was called something, if I translate to English, is like The Cave of the Ancestors. It was a novel, and in this novel, I really had to say that it was the first book that I read by myself, and because I chose. I was never that person that I love reading books. So when I found that book, everything like attracted me to that book, from the cover to each word that was written down in that novel. And in the novel, there was this story of a monk who went to find out how to deal with the emotions. And he found out that through the silence, he learned a lot about emotions. And when he learned all these things about emotions, he had some deep thought inside that he needed to share this to every single person that he found in the world. And I'm like, I'm, I'm really want to copy this monk, but I cannot go to the middle of the Himalayas in a cave. I'm in Colombia. Well, we have a lot of mountains, but I don't know if I'm going to go to a mountain in Colombia. So by those days, once I finished to read the book, the newspaper arrived to the house. Again, I was not a person who used to read a lot, but the newspapers was something that never catch my attention. But that day, the newspaper catch my attention. I don't know why. I say, I'm going to read the newspaper today. And I started to open the newspaper, and there was this column that says, a Mexican person that just came back out of a Buddhist monastery is giving a conference today in Medellin, in the city where I lived, at this and that time. And I'm like, really? Great. I'm glad with this newspaper. So I went to this conference from this person from Mexico, and I learned that he studied in India how to become a Buddhist philosopher. So he gave me all the information about how to become certified in Buddhism and how to study all the philosophy. And I copy. I look for everything. And my mom was like every day in my back. Did you find out what are you going to study? And I had this information with me already in my heart. I just didn't know how to tell her what I wanted to do because it was like I'm 16 years old and I would certainly want to go all the way to India. This is going to sound very strange to my mom, so I need to find a way to present this to her. So the day arrived and my mom said like, you know already? And I'm like, you know, mom, yes. I know what am I going to study, but let's sit. I think we need to be comfortable. And she's like, okay, let's sit. And she was so excited. I have no idea what's going on in her mind at that moment. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to India. And she's like, no, you are not. And I'm like, so what do I do now? And she says, I have no idea what are you going to do, but you are not going to any India. You are 16 years old. You are a woman. You are staying in Colombia. You are doing your career here. And if when you finish your career, when you work by yourself, you continue with that crazy idea, well, you follow your craziness, but I'm not going to follow your craziness. And I'm like, okay, so I ended up studying advertising and public relationships, which I really enjoyed all this time because I got to learn a little bit about the world, the work, the companies, the enterprises, how people deal in the advertising world that is so different from what we are seeking in a spiritual world sometimes. But the beautiful thing about all that process is that one of my sisters told my mother that because I was crazy, I needed to go to the psychologist. And she chose the psychologist, and the psychologist she knew had a Buddhist approach. But she didn't tell this part to my mom until later on. So I went to see the psychologist because I was crazy and I needed some therapy, and I found out that this was totally different psychologist than all the ones that I had visited before. Because all her walls were painted in color. A room where she did the therapy was like cushions on the floor. Everything was super amazing. And I didn't understand what was happening there. I'm like, am I at a psychologist or where am I? And she's like, yeah, I had a Buddhist approach, so I want to teach you a little bit of meditation and you can start all this journey. And I'm like, great. So thanks to my sister, I had also this opportunity to start learning in Medellin a little bit about meditation. And I work in advertising. This craziness, as my mother used to say, never went away from my head. So once I worked like 5 years in advertising and I saved all the money I could, I found out that I could go to Nepal to study Buddhist philosophy, and I did that for 3 years. And when this finished, I'm like, Buddhist philosophy, it's amazing. I loved it. It gives me all the support to what I need, but it's not enough to bring to our daily life. Because if I'm going to Colombia to talk about Buddhism as I learned in Nepal, people are just going to look at me like you're crazy. You are coming out of nowhere. So in that journey, I became a life coach to find the language that I could talk to people in some sort of more simple words and help people to find a way to discover the light, if we can say, inside of them. But this was too much intellectual for me. So I wanted to continue searching for something more, and I went to Thailand and I study other type of Buddhism, which is Thai Buddhism is more, I will say, more quiet than Tibetan Buddhism, and less information in the graphics, in the art. So I wanted to learn this type of Buddhism as well. But again, that's not what this part of the world needs. So I was mixing Buddhism and coaching, and these two things were super beautiful and adapted to people. But inside of me, I still wanted something more. So I continued to search where can I continue learning other ways of meditation. And I found meditation for daily stress, which is a way of meditation that was created by Michel Pascal. And this way of meditation is deep, simple, and easy for everybody to practice. So at that moment, I became certified in this way of meditation, and I started to teach this way of meditation in any place I can teach, one-to-one, in groups, to moms, to kids, to as many people as I can find. So this is a little bit of medium long short, however we want to call it, of my journey.
That's so beautiful. And so what is it that, how do you bridge the gap from all these deeply rooted Tibetan traditions and ways of meditation and ways of being to how do we apply that in today's life? So you're in a place where there's a lot going on, right? We can hear sounds, people coming and going. It sounds like they're doing music rehearsals. And so today's life, nobody has the time or the attention to go sit in a dark room, to take a deep breath, to quiet their mind just by themselves. So how do you get from Nepal and Thailand and that kind of meditation to what you're doing today?
Yes, and that's always something very beautiful because, again, when we talk about meditation, we are talking about how can we quiet our mind to be present where we are. So in reality, we can quiet our mind any place, anywhere. But somehow media has put in our head that the only place to be quiet is in a quiet place. But when we were born, we were not even born quiet. The first sound that comes out of our mouth is us crying. So from the moment we come to this world, we are already wanting to express something. And we cannot separate ourselves or divide ourselves from the world. We are in a world of people, and we need to deal with people. And this is the first meditation that we need to have in our world. We are human beings. That's what we need to embrace. And I tend to say when we are born as a human, we come with emotions. So we cannot just say, I don't care about emotions. Let me put my emotions on the trash and let's go. No. We need to come everywhere with what we have and just realizing I am a human being. I am having this huge, amazing opportunity to be a human being. I want to learn more about other human beings. This already brings us to a place of joy. This already brings us to a place where we really want to be where we are. And it doesn't need to put us in the idea that I need to be quiet only in a quiet place, because that's not the reality. I was saying I had everything prepared for this live today. I was going to be in a quiet room. I was going to be with a good internet, and suddenly plans changed, and I had to come to a studio to work in a project. So I had to find my way to step outside for an hour and do this live with you. And of course, there is a lot of noise. But the noise is not the important thing. The important thing is how much joy we have to meet together.
Yes.
And in this joy of meeting together, anything can happen around because we are here, wanting to learn, wanting to be tuned. And this is the beauty of music, wanting to be always tuned in a vibration of calmness, of quietness. Because like that, we don't have so much cortisol, we just have so much joy that the world can be around having all these noises. And what is it that we can do together here to continue spreading joy to people, to love life? We are so much disconnected that we don't want to be alive, even if we can breathe. And this is the best meditation.
Yeah. And we get the wonderful opportunity to hear this meditation that you do. David and I have been practicing this as well with Michelle Pascal. So just so everybody knows, you're going to do the meditation in Spanish. English first. Then we're going to have like this little video break in the middle, and then you're going to come back and do it again in Spanish. Is that okay?
Perfect. Sounds very good.
Wonderful.
And for this practice that we are going to do, people always ask me if they need to sit in a lotus position or they need to close the eyes or something like that. Actually, not. If you are driving and you are listening to this live, please don't close your eyes. Please keep your eyes open. If you are walking, of course, keep your eyes open. If you are doing any activity that requires your eyes open, please go ahead and do so. I will be guiding you through the meditation, and the idea is not the position that you are using, but that you feel comfortable wherever you are and however you are. So find your most comfortable position. And let's find that we can feel as the tree. Visualize that your feet are deeply grounded on the earth. And when you are going to breathe in, you are going to breathe in all the force of the earth inside of you. Keep and exhale, feeling that you open all your branches to the sky. And in this way you feel the freedom, the connection. And you just allow this tree to bring you to the sensation of stability and flexibility. And feel that any thought that arises is like the wind. And the wind allows the branches of the tree to dance. And in this way you dance, flexible as the tree, a few seconds. No matter the thoughts that arise, they are just as the wind passing by. When we meditate, we want to enter in the sensation. So you can breathe in, feeling that you are as flexible and grounded as the tree. And you can exhale, feeling that you are as flexible and grounded as the tree. And whatever thought that arises, just feel that is like the wind passing by. And if you had your eyes closed, you can open your eyes. And for a few seconds with your eyes open, you can discover that you can feel as the tree, no matter where you are, no matter how many thoughts come and go, because they are just as the wind helping you to dance as the tree while you remain stable.
I'm dancing like a tree. I love it. I love it. And are you ready to do it again in Spanish?
Yes, let's do it in Spanish now.
Wonderful.
Ahora para toda nuestra audiencia en español vamos a hacer una meditación corta en español. Si quieres estar sentada, si quieres estar acostada o si estás realizando cualquier actividad, también es posible meditar. Lo único que necesitamos es estar cómodas. Incluso si estás manejando, puedes continuar manejando, pero tratar de poner atención a la sensación. Y voy a estar guiándote con mi voz en esta meditación que vamos a hacer por los próximos 5 minutos. Así que ya si quieres cerrar los ojos, los puedes cerrar. O si quieres dejar los ojos abiertos, también sabes que los puedes dejar abiertos. Y te sientas cómoda. Y vas a sentir que tus pies están tocando el piso. Y sientes el lugar como si estuvieras en un bosque de árboles inmenso. Y sientes que tus pies comienzan a convertirse como si fueran raíces de un árbol. Y al inhalar por las raíces del árbol, sientes que toda la energía de la tierra llega a tu cuerpo. Sostienes y exhalas, permitiendo que toda esta energía ayude a tus brazos a expandirse al cielo, como si fueran las ramas del árbol. Y si cualquier pensamiento llega, simplemente deja pasar este pensamiento, como si fuera el viento pasando por el árbol. Y así alcanzas a danzar como el árbol por unos segundos. En cada inhalación sientes que logras reconectarte con toda la energía de la tierra. Y al exhalar sientes que logras danzar como el árbol. No importa dónde te encuentres, no importa cuántos sonidos existan alrededor, lo que más importa en este momento es que te regales la sensación de ser tan flexible como el árbol. Y si cualquier pensamiento llega, permite que este pensamiento continúe tal como el viento y danza como el árbol, recobrando toda tu flexibilidad. Y si tienes los ojos cerrados, por unos segundos puedes regresar, abrir tus ojos y te puedes regalar la oportunidad de danzar como el árbol, con ese viento, como sea que llegue. Y mientras más nos entrenemos en nuestra vida cotidiana, más vamos a poder calmar nuestra mente. Y puedes practicar como el árbol durante muchos segundos del día.
There's something about your voice. The first time, probably both David and I heard you do a meditation, we were listening to a radio broadcast, and you were doing the meditation in Spanish. And I turned to Dave and I said, I don't know what she's saying, but I'm in a zone and it's beautiful. I just feel so good. And that's exactly where I am again. I just feel so good.
And that what you are saying is very, very important, because when we want to feel good, we have to look for a sensation. We don't have to look for a thought. People tend to ask me, Juliana, how can I feel better? Do I need to think positive? Do I need to sign out to this or that course? Do I need to get this diploma? And I say, it's much more simple than that. Knowledge is supremely important. But if you don't connect the knowledge with the sensation, you are not meditating. You are just becoming a very well-versed academic. So when we want to feel good, we want to tune ourselves in a calming sensation. And most of times it doesn't really matter if we listen in a calming thing to a calming thing in a language that we don't understand. Because what we want is to learn how to feel good, not to learn how to repeat words that will not make us feel good, but think more. That's a very important difference that we need to grasp in our heart. Let's look always for the sensation of calmness, not for the thinking that is going to make us think calm.
It's so beautiful.
It really is.
We wish we had another 60 minutes now to keep talking.
Anytime I will be here to come back, 1 minute or 10 hours. Time doesn't really exist. When we tune in that eternity, doesn't matter if it was 1 minute or 10 hours.
Absolutely. And, I'm so in love with my husband, but, I'm so in love with you, Juliana. I'm just so in love with everything you're saying and how good I feel. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Juliana. Just beautiful, beautiful words and beautiful meditations, and for the people, it's just so much needed right now in the world. So thank you. I know you're bringing this to many communities that need it.
Including prisoners,
abused women, talking about other groups now to bring it to. So you're doing really important work, and really so important right now, vital for humanity. So blessings.
Yeah.
Blessings to each of us, not only for doing this work, but for receiving this work as well. Because when we do this type of work, we are not like, I am the teacher, I am nothing, I'm just also the student. Every time we speak something, we have to be our first teachers. So thank you so much for providing this space, because I'm always happy as a child to not only talk, but to also be like the participant of whatever comes out of my voice, because many times I'm also surprised, like, wow, where is this teaching coming from? I'm like, I wish I had something to write down, because it always surprises me when we enter into this quiet state of mind. We we have no expectations. We just know that the goal is to feel good, and that's what we express.
Beautiful.
And that's what we have to be looking for every single day when we open our eyes or close our eyes.
Well, we're going to
So-
close with that beautiful music in
Yeah.
the background. And thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us.
Mwah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a beautiful day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Yeah.
Morning.
Oh, that was lovely. So make sure you join us in 2 weeks, January, what am I saying? June 2nd. You'll want to listen to Debbie Dashinger and Rob Rowe playing medicine music. Beautiful. Music is medicine, basically. It's just great. So take care.
See you there. Have a great night.
Bye.